I am Alen Stellian, the Midlife Empowerment Coach, and today I am thrilled to introduce Donna Sword. Donna is a volunteer puppy raiser for Canine Companions for Independence, an organization that places professionally trained assistant dogs to people with disabilities. After sending her son off to college, Donna applied to Canine Companions to be a volunteer puppy raiser, and in September 2008, she was assigned her first puppy, Inga. Since raising Inga, Donna and her husband, Don, have raised another 7 puppies, and today they are awaiting their next furry assignment. In 2015, Donna founded the Cincinnati Dayton chapter, a team of more than 50 volunteers who support the mission of Canine Companions in Southwestern Ohio. She shares her home with her change of career dogs, as she calls them, Micron and Holly. Did I say Micron right, Donna?
That is right. Yep.
It's right. Okay, well, welcome, Donna. I've been so looking forward to hearing from you on this such an important topic, and clearly one you've got a lot of passion for.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate this opportunity to share what I know and my experience about volunteer puppy raising. It has been truly rewarding and challenging past few years. I've been doing this for 13 years now. I've been through 8 puppies. Wow. And each one different than the one before. So we got started in this. We had some friends that were involved with puppy raising with the same organization of Canine Companions. And, you know, there was a question that I'd always ask them. And it was just, you know, I just didn't understand how they could raise a puppy for a year and a half and then give the puppy back to the organization.
Yes.
Like, how do you say goodbye? And this couple that I'm speaking of are on like number 25.
Oh my!
They have been doing this for so many years. And then I got involved with puppy raising. We sent my son off to college. We're empty nesters. We can have our own hobbies again.
Right. And some extra space for those hobbies.
Yeah. So, you know, we did not replace my son with a dog, as he tells all his friends, but we did move on with our lives and get back to our own passions. So I checked around with different organizations, and I looked at guide dogs organizations and some that were involved in more specific types of disabilities. And we settled on Canine Companions for Independence because they are a national organization. They're the oldest service dog organization, except outside of the Seeing Eye and the guide dogs. So I love their high standards of training and how they place the dogs. You know, there's no mistake that where the dogs go, you know, that's the perfect placement for the person and the dog.
And so they're being placed with people with disabilities. That's the mission.
That is. So it's people with disabilities other than blindness. So okay. we do have dogs placed with people with mobility disabilities, children with autism. There are hearing dogs, and we launched the veterans program about 3 years ago, and so we have now dogs being placed with our soldiers coming back with PTSD, and the dogs are trained specific tasks to mitigate the effects of PTSD, and that training is just fascinating.
So the training is dependent on is that after the puppy raising, like the training that you go through depending on the kind of disability that the dog is going to be, you know, in dealing with?
Right. So as a puppy raiser, we don't know where the dog's going to go. So we just we'll socialize them, and we'll do the basic commands, you know, our 30 commands that we teach them. It's the same. Yeah.
A lot of commands.
It's a lot of commands. And we give them, you know, just the good social manners. So that's our number one job, is to get that, because that's something the professional trainers just don't have the resources to do. Yeah. So they rely on the volunteers to manage that. And we do. So then we return them back to the organization, and we have professional trainers that are on staff there. They determine the dog's, you know, ability to, you know, what the dog is good with, whether they're going to be better with a child or they're going to be better with as a hearing dog.
Oh, I see. It makes sense. They kind of see the temperament of I don't know, what age do you return them? Is it?
They're almost 2 years old.
Oh, wow.
I know,
Okay.
yeah.
I assumed like, you were returning them when they were, I don't know, a few months old or something, but you get them when they're what, 8 weeks is
They're
about?
8 weeks old. We get them as just little cotton balls with
Wow.
shark teeth. And so, yeah, so we get them, they're so young, but they have a good start with a breeder caretaker who's also a volunteer.
Okay.
So yeah, so the dogs are whelped by volunteers, and the first 8 weeks, they're by the time we get them, they know their name, they know how to sit,
Yeah.
and it's awesome.
Amazing.
So my point to that was, yeah, so the puppies are 8 weeks old, and then we have them for a year and a half, so about 18 months.
Yeah.
It's usually the range. Of course, COVID has, kind of tweaked our schedule a little bit. So yeah, but we have them around 18 months, and then we return to the organization. They get another 6 months professional training.
Okay.
So
And
they are,
that's the specialization more depending on the kind of person they're going to be helping.
right.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. And then this organization with Canine Companions, they always have a long wait list of applicants.
Oh,
Yeah. So they'll determine what that collection of dogs they have at the time, what those dogs are really good at. And then they'll pull out their pool of applicants and try to make a pre-match. Just, we'll bring in these people and these dogs, and then they'll match them from there.
yeah.
Yeah. So
That's really interesting. So I didn't realize how long you had them. So, I mean, going back to the question that you asked at the beginning, I mean, how hard is that to give up a puppy who's been with you for 18 months?
I know it is, because we'll bond with the dog, they'll bond with us, and the dogs do much better than the people do, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that Canine Companions uses labs and Goldens and the
Okay.
process of the two. And those are the only two breeds. And they select those breeds because they are really good at rebonding.
Okay.
So once we return the dogs to the organization, they'll bond with their trainer. And then, when they meet their new partner,
Yeah.
so the new handler, they'll bond with them.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So these breeds are really good for that type of transition.
Yeah. And you mentioned COVID. That brought up a question for me. And that is, so, a lot more people got dogs during COVID, right? So I don't know if did that make it, what kind of impact that had in terms of the supply or the breeding or the whatever. And then the wait list for people who wanted some of these specialized dogs.
Yeah, it really affected the program pretty profoundly.
Wow.
So that's why I'm in a position right now of waiting for my next puppy.
Right.
We had to slow down the breeding program. They actually did shut it down. Canine Companions breeds their own dogs.
Oh, okay.
They have their own breeding program. They've been doing this for 46 years now. So they have, they know what they're looking for in these dogs, and they've got, a large group that they can work with, and always bringing in new dogs. And so, yeah, it's,
So COVID affected him, like it.
yeah.
Why would they slow down the breeding program because of COVID? Is it just that there weren't as many volunteers able to care for them during this time?
I think the dogs are actually bred and whelped in California, near
Okay.
the Santa Rosa campus. The big concern was just disease transmission, just to kind of shut down and just keep everybody home.
I see. Right, of course, because there's the human interaction, not so much obviously the dog human, but the humans needing to get together to do the tasks that are required. Yeah, that makes sense.
But the training center, everybody was working from home, except for maybe, coming in to take care of the dogs at the center. And yeah, they had to put in some strict things with that. And
wow.
yeah.
Amazing. So I think you have some photos you were going to show us.
I think you'll like to see some puppy photos to tell you a little bit more about the program.
I know I have my puppy Marley here with me. Hello. Yes, but we want to see the puppies that you've worked with.
Yeah, let me do that. Let me share my screen here. See if I can get this up, and here I am, and share. All righty. So can you see this?
Oh, yes, I can.
we've raised 8 puppies. These are 7 of them.
Oh,
Yeah, these are the, when they're little guys and you fall in love and
no.
life is good. This is my change of career. You can kind of see the ornery on her face.
Yeah.
That's Ollie, and this one's Micron when he was a puppy.
Oh,
All right.
beautiful.
So that is when people ask, why do you do what you do? It's like, well, because I love puppies. But really, with Canine Companions, any service dog organization, it's a human services organization that uses dogs as their vehicle.
Yeah.
So this is why we do it. So, we have children with physical disabilities. They might have cerebral palsy or other issues going on. This one is hard to see here. The dog's holding keys in his mouth.
Oh,
And there's a veteran and the dog's holding his prosthetic leg.
gotcha.
Bring that to him.
Yeah.
On the bottom left is one we raised. That's our Vitani with her new, she's a PTSD dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she came from California.
Okay.
We raised her in Ohio, and then she went back to California to be a service dog for him.
Yeah, that really showcases what the work is all about.
It does. I mean, that's what it's about. I mean, for me, it's about puppies because that's just my life, but it's really about getting these dogs ready to help someone else. Somebody needs a dog more than me, is what we say.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
So here's just a couple of photos of our local chapter. We're a Cincinnati Dayton chapter of volunteers. This is the Air Force Museum in Dayton. So we get these dogs out, and here's a few that were on
Goodness.
training together.
These are beautiful.
And then we do meet and greet booths at different events and things.
Yeah.
There's another one where we're out and about. And then we do some community outreach events. This is a gift wrapping at during the holiday season at Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do that and get the dogs out so people can see them.
Yeah.
And then this is our first dog, my husband and I, with our first dog, Inga, on her graduation day.
Oh,
And then
a bittersweet day, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. It's such a proud day. It's like, all our work. And she graduated with a young boy, and he had mobility issues. So some of the tasks that she would do is like he would be doing his homework at home, drop his pencil, but he could not reach the ground to get the pencil. So she could pick it back up, and the mom can still do dinner or whatever she's doing. And, he can have that independence, not ask mom for help anytime he needs something like that. So she just recently retired too, Inga.
Oh, she did. Wow. Yeah. You've been doing this for a while. So,
Yeah. So yeah, you'll see my 13-year age progression here because I got some other photos. And
oh, wow.
That's
and when they retire, what happens to them?
When they retire, the family gets first dibs. I mean, the family can keep the dog if they want to. There are times when the family cannot, or perhaps the recipient passes away and the family doesn't have the resources to keep the dog. So Canine Companions maintains the destiny of the dog. So they ensure that these dogs never end up, without, like a shelter or anything like that. There's always a destiny in place for them. There's
what do you mean by destiny? Destiny, you mean like there's somebody, a volunteer, somebody who will take an elderly dog in, or okay.
Yeah. So we have a long wait list of people who want to adopt, even the dogs that are released from the program, like my 2 were, or dogs that retire, or there's a change in the partnership and the dog comes back. So Canine Companions make sure that, they're on that list of people who want to adopt, there's a place for that dog.
Nice.
Yeah. This is a matriculation day with my number 3.
Wow.
And it's a celebration day that we do that. So matriculation into their college life.
Oh, I know. This is very, very fancy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Who's this?
That's Yuka. Yuka was named after the Yukonuba dog food brand.
Oh, I was going to say, Yuka, isn't that like there's a cactus or something named a...
Yeah, but it's spelled E-U-K-A for Yukonuba.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, she's a good one. And that's graduation day with Yuka.
Oh,
And you can see my body language.
I know.
Uh,
Yeah, no, I don't want to let you go.
yeah. And that's Holly, when we still thought she might make it through the program. That's her on her matriculation day.
Yeah, she's got a big blue ribbon.
Yeah, yeah. And then Vitani, which is she's the one that went to California to be a PTSD dog.
Okay.
And
So
that's
they
our
place-
last one.
They place the dogs not necessarily in your geographic area.
Our region of North Central is covers 14 states.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so usually they do stay in our regional area,
Okay.
but the PTSD program is only being run right now in California.
Gotcha.
So any of the dogs that are going to be selected for that will go back to California.
And do you ever get a chance to see the dogs later, or is it kind of like, no, you know what, you really shouldn't confuse them by showing up like to visit or something?
We don't see them during the professional training, but if they do get placed with a recipient, then we get to meet them.
That's
So
nice.
we do.
Oh,
And that's where you see me with Vitani. We had an hour to spend with her before the
Oh.
graduation ceremony. So
Yeah.
we were able to do our one-on-one with her and have some time and get back together.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that was nice. And that's Neptune. That's our most recent.
Oh,
That's the day I picked him up.
and this
now
is the one you just returned last month, you said?
last month, right? I just returned him last month. And so he's in the professional training now.
Okay.
And we do get monthly report cards
Oh,
from the
nice.
trainer. And they
Yeah.
let us know how they're doing, and he's doing okay so far. This is one of our training sessions where we're working with the dogs on getting to know where their back end is. So the puppies need to understand where their back legs are and how to work them. And it sounds silly, but they really it gives them a sense of their body space and where they are.
Yeah.
And we'll work on that kind of command to teach them how to go backwards, when they're with someone in a wheelchair, they might need to, maneuver themselves a certain way to be of use.
Yeah.
Here we've got one coming up on a wobbly board.
Yeah. So that's part of their just getting comfortable with different textures and locations and like different, the whole socialization thing.
Exactly that, because we have to be, they can't be resistant to stepping on a sidewalk grate.
Oh, right. Right.
Or, not be uncomfortable with walking on something that's just weird. They have to just power through it. Here we have one at the fire station here in town. And so we do desensitization with some of the fire equipment, having the guys put their gear on.
Yeah.
The respirators, and they make the noises. And so the dogs have to be, that's different, but okay. Here's one we took to the beach with us.
Yeah.
We would travel with them. They have to be okay with not distracted by other animals, cats or whatever.
Yeah.
This is Neptune. So,
wow. But quite a difference in size versus when you first got him.
Indeed. Yeah. One of our festivals. This was a demo that one of the trainers was doing where the dog is picking up a water bottle.
Oh.
And the next one, the dog's, I think that's a pencil he's bringing back to her. He picked it off the ground. And just one of the working dogs.
Amazing how smart they are.
It is amazing. This is where I worked at the office. They were very supportive of the service dog program, and we would have going away parties. So this guy was ready to go into the professional training program, and we held a party for him.
Yeah, so it says you should, with cake and everything. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's in the office where I worked.
Oh, so adorable.
And breeding children. Oh, and that's just one example of what's in my house at any given time.
So do you have to tolerate a lot of mess in your house? Like, is that like what's the real feel? What's it really like to do this? I mean, you have one, typically most people I assume take one puppy at a time, right? So it's not
right. Yeah. We do have some couples that will take two dogs and they'll kind of offset the ages.
Okay.
So they always have like a rotation of dogs in the house, and that's worked well for them. But it's not something I would recommend to somebody unless you were really comfortable with doing that, or you're retired.
Yeah.
I did it once in that one photo with the big dog and the little dog,
Yeah.
and that it was only about a month of crossover between the two, but it was a little extra because you want to get that first one finished off right. You want to
Okay.
make sure that he's ready to go, but the little one needs so much attention.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we personally will just do one at a time.
Yeah.
And but then I've always had pet dogs too, and so yeah, it's fun when you're training the puppy, and the big dogs are going like, we get cookies too, right? So, we try to teach speak, and, the other dogs are speaking. It's like, okay, yeah. So they kind of work together.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of nice to have the older ones there. They probably also kind of keep the younger one in line a little bit.
Yeah.
Or the younger one just takes over, you never know. They're quite the charmers, some of them.
Yeah.
If there was somebody watching who was like, wow, this sounds just awesome. Like, I'd love to do this. Are there some qualities that you're looking for when you're looking at a possible new volunteer? I mean, just things that you'd want to make people aware of. Like, it's not all just puppy time, playtime, all night, day and night. I mean, it's a responsibility, and it sounds like there's work associated with this. It's not just like petting puppies all day long.
Right. And that's true, because, we do, as I mentioned before, we do teach the 30 commands.
Yeah.
So we're trained on how to do that, but we also have a community. With COVID, again, things were a little bit different, and we did a lot of online training, a lot of videos, chats, and that.
Yeah.
But we do try to get, as a chapter, your local chapter, we can get our puppy raisers together, and we can work together on things and be able to see, if somebody needs help with a particular area of command, and how we can help work with that. Anybody that's close to the training center can go to the classes there at Canine Companions. But for us, it's about an 1.5-hour drive. So we'll do just basic obedience classes to get our dogs out with other dogs that aren't Canine Companions puppies. And they can, it's easier to proof commands in a distracting environment and get the commands right. So we'll take these basic obedience classes at local places that we've got here in town. So it can be a real challenge if you don't have a good support system. So that's what's really great about Canine Companions, is that, we have good support from our puppy raising program manager at the training center, but also other puppy raisers that we can fall back on. And we are just now starting a mentorship program. And so that's where we'll take some of the experienced puppy raisers, and if there's a new person in town who's raising, then we can have a mentor for them, and they have always somebody right there they can talk to.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So if you're asking kind of question or anything, then you would be able to reach out to that for one-on-one help with that.
Absolutely. But you're asking about personality, or what we're looking for in a volunteer. And it's somebody who, again, we're a human services organization, so you have to want to do this for somebody else. I mean, that's really it. It's not pure altruism because I love puppies, but I want to
it's a win-win.
Yeah, it is. But I want to be able to give back. I've had a good life, and I have the ability and the resources where I can give back for what I have. And this was the choice I made. And I can continue to be involved in the human canine bond, and I can help enhance that and work with these dogs. And it's such a wonderful thing. But yeah, you do get the challenges with, you bring a new puppy in, and you've got that first night, maybe 2 nights where you're not getting much sleep.
Right.
Yeah. And then you get the puppy gets maybe diarrhea, and then you're dealing with that, and any sort of new puppy thing, just
fighting things, the teething, all that stuff. I mean,
so you've got to manage that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Yeah, you keep your valuables put up because
Yeah.
they don't know.
Yeah, but it sounds like so the organization trains, like if I were, if I were a new volunteer and, my dog doesn't know 30 commands. So like the organization trains the trainer trains you as a volunteer, either through in-person classes or like videos, or how do they train a new volunteer?
Yeah, both of those actually. Yeah, so they do in-person classes, but then we also fall back onto our volunteer chapters, that we, as a community, we can support each other that way too.
Yeah.
But we did a lot of video training over this past year. So our puppy program manager will put through these trainings, and just each week she'll pick a specific area, whether it's crate training or getting them used to the head halter, the gentle leader that we train with, or any sensitivities they have to wearing a cape,
Right.
And it also helps us learn how do we refine these commands, get them proficient in that, and get them very, very good and ready for the professional training. Some of the tasks that we give these dogs will be built upon later. So we have like a shake command, a simple shake. Most dogs can do that, but it's a target. So we're trying to get that dog to understand where he puts his paw. And later on, he'll do like put his paws up on the wall, be able to hit a light switch.
Oh, got you. So it
Yeah.
builds on itself. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah. So it sounds like, if somebody comes to you and it's like, yeah, I've had a couple of dogs and I've raised them and whatever, it's not just like raising a regular dog. I mean, there's a protocol, there are things you need to make sure that the dog is able to do, and that it's 18 months and this is a critical training period, I know, for dogs, especially the earlier months. So, there is a structured program and there are things. So, I mean, it is going to take some time. I'm assuming you have to do a little training each day and, take them to new locations and experiences and all of that. So it's, I mean, how much, time would you say on a daily or weekly basis? Like what kind of a commitment is this for people?
Yeah, and that's a good question, but it's a hard one to answer because really it's 24 hours. I mean, you're responsible for this dog and all their behavior. So, I take my puppies to work with me.
Yeah.
So they're with me all day. Even if we're doing nothing, we're reinforcing good behavior. So he's learning to entertain himself, be a good dog while I'm working on something.
Yeah.
So that's still kind of training.
Yeah.
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 So, they get good office manners. We take them out in public wherever we can. So we'll go to museums or take them to the movies.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to do that because it's a kind of service dog in training? Because like I can't take my dog to most of these places.
Yeah. It varies from state to state.
Okay.
Some states will. The ADA, American with Disabilities Act, protects the rights of an individual with a disability to have assistive technology.
Yeah.
So whether the assistive technology is a wheelchair or a cane or an assistance dog, that person has a right to have that with them. Okay. So the right is with the person, not the dog.
Gotcha.
Makes sense. So so we as puppy raisers aren't protected by the ADA. Okay. But we do rely on businesses just in good faith to allow us to do that. Right. And
so you kind of need to check with them, or by now, the ones in Europe, but if you're traveling somewhere, you can't just, I don't know if your puppy in training is wearing a vest or something that indicates that they're a service dog in training or something, but you can't just bring them into any store. You kind of have to check with that business first.
We typically will, if there's somebody available to talk to, but other times, the puppy is vested. And we do take them in, and we get challenged from time to time, and we explain what we're doing. Yeah. And it's just an educational process.
Right. Yeah. I hear you. So, it sounds like that this is the kind of thing for somebody who loves dogs and loves the opportunity to help, and has time and flexibility on their hands to do the training and take the dog with them. And it's not for somebody who's got a full-time job in an office building doesn't allow dogs, or, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's got to be something that you really can make the time for and put the energy into.
That's absolutely true. We just, we have the challenges with some offices where they just don't want, you just don't have that support from your management. And I've been really fortunate that in my working career, since I've started puppy raising, that I've had that support. And it's really helped me get along, and it's helped me with other people too, where they're like, we want a puppy raise, we need to talk to our management. It's like, well, we can help with that.
Right.
Yeah.
You've been through it. Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. What else am I not asking you about this? What else do we need to let people know who are watching this and might say, I don't know, this is something I'd like to check out. I mean, obviously they're not necessarily going to be in your geography, but it sounds like there's chapters in all parts of the US, or where can they reach out?
There is. Anybody who's interested in puppy raising, I mean, I would, because it's my organization of choice, I would encourage Canine Companions for Independence to look into that. It's at canine.org, and there's a load of information there.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to look at other organizations too and find the right fit for yourself, maybe there's something that's more local to them. Although Canine Companions is national, we've got 6 regional centers. So there's going to be a center nearish somebody somewhere.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of local groups too.
Okay.
But I, just kind of vet them out, take a look at their mission statement and see if this is right for you.
Yeah.
Location wise, what their training program is like, what the puppy raising program is like. Canine Companions provides these dogs to individuals with disabilities at no cost.
Wow.
So that's probably the top reason. It's probably my number one reason why I chose this organization, because they have such a robust fundraising program that they don't ask the recipient of the dog to fundraising, where a lot of the organizations do require that.
And that's the other thing I didn't bring up is, I mean, that's part of your volunteer commitment is also you are paying, I'm assuming, for the vet, for the food, for the, you're assuming that responsibility as well.
We do. We take on all the veterinary costs, food, training, supplies.
Okay.
So that, and it varies from dog to dog, but also if there's something, if the dog does have like something very unusual, some veterinary care, Canine Companions will step in.
Okay.
And take care
So
of that.
You're doing the routine care, but then if, suddenly there's a major issue or something, or it needs an operation that is not normal for a dog to need at that age, they would step in and help out.
Yeah, absolutely. They do.
And I would love, I know one of the things Canine Companions always needs is more funding. So, we're going to put up a link to, if anybody has moved to donate, that would be amazing. So you've given me the link for that, and I will add it in the comments. And also you had sent something about a volunteer, the link to how to volunteer for Canine Companions. So we'll put that in as well. Anything else I'm missing?
I think that's pretty good. So I really appreciate this opportunity.
Oh my goodness. It's just such a pleasure to talk to you. I mean, I can sense your passion for this, and it's just amazing to see what a commitment this is, and what amazing work you're doing for with this it sounds like a really just awesome organization that's doing such good work. So thank you for sharing all of that with us and with our audience, and thank you everybody for watching and for checking out Canine Companions. This just sounds like a really interesting opportunity for the right person. If you're at a stage in your life where you are looking for a place to invest your energy and help others in the process, this just sounds like a great thing. So thank you all for being here. And if you enjoy these videos, please watch for more coming weekly. And until then, be well and stay safe. And thank you again, Donna.
Thank you.